DreAllDay.com.
You are now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is part 2 of our ongoing series of why they hate Elon Musk. Before we get into this, first of all, my text message number down below in the description. When we start sending it out again, you'll be getting that straight to your phone. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. Those of you who have been asking, Dre, do you offer any type of coaching or mentoring, or is there any way I can work with you directly? Do you make courses, anything like that? Answer to all those questions is yes. And the way you get access to those things by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com, link down in the description of this episode. Now, with that out the way, let's get into it. Picking up right where we left off, which is point number 4. This is part 2 of what's going to be a 3-part series, why they hate Elon Musk. Point number 4 is this. Elon Musk is an entrepreneur, not only in fact, but an entrepreneur at heart. And there is a difference. See, there are some people who are entrepreneurs in fact. An entrepreneur in fact is a person who runs a business operation while taking on greater than normal financial risk. All right, basically you run a business, you own a business, you're in control, is your full-time source of income. That's entrepreneur in fact. Entrepreneur is also an entrepreneur at heart means something more than that. It means you are not one to bend to authority. You do not simply follow rules just because rules are in place or because rules have been stated. See, entrepreneurs innately have something in them that says, I believe I can do better than what's currently working. And that means I'm going to look at the current rules and the current status quo, and I'm going to do better than that. And I'm going to go against the grain. And yes, I see you already have that here, but I think I can do better. And I'm going to show you that I'm better. That's the mindset of an entrepreneur. Many entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs in fact, while still behaving as if they are employees. They do things like climbing other people's ladders, seeking certifications and validations from people who they don't need to be certified nor validated by. And they carry themselves as if they need that person's or those people's approvals before they can move forward. See, this is an entrepreneur in fact who is not an entrepreneur at heart. Elon Musk is an entrepreneur both in fact and at heart. He's not a person who waits for someone else's permission. He does not need anyone else's certification, validation, or approval before he moves forward. And again, combine that with the fact that he has a lot of financial success that is publicly noted, and he's outwardly and publicly aligning himself with Donald Trump, a guy that a lot of people hate. And you can see how this is a recipe for him getting a lot of vitriol coming his way. See how that works? Elon is not a person who is waiting for someone else's permission. He has entrepreneurship in his bones. Everything that I just described is what I mean. Most people spend their whole lives following every rule that is laid out in front of them and bending to every alleged authority that is posed before them. So they simply don't understand the mentality that I just explained to you. And they naturally fight against anyone who has it, and they naturally fight against themselves having it. This is another reason why most people are conditioned to hate entrepreneurs, people who do things their own way, or anyone who does not follow the rules that most everybody else follows. You'll notice that anytime someone decides to not follow the rules, everybody who is following the rules tries to tell the rule breaker to stop breaking the rules for no other reason than you just want to see everybody else do the same thing that you did. Not because the person breaking the rules is bothering you in any way, just because you don't want to see anybody else having the balls to do what you did not have the balls to do. So they will encourage you to follow the rules because they're following the rules. Elon doesn't mind you saying that. He's still going to ignore you, but it doesn't bother him that you're offering that he should do what you're doing. He's not going to do it. His answer is same thing he said. There were a bunch of advertisers who said, I can't remember what the subject was, but there were a bunch of advertisers when I think it was when Elon first relaxed the restrictions on X, or he changed the algorithms. He didn't really relax restrictions. What he did was change the algorithms on X from what they had been from the previous regime, which was left-leaning, to his regime. And what people started to claim, and I believe this was a coordinated media plot, they started to claim that there was more hate and racism and misogyny and sexism, etc., on the app as soon as Elon started to put his new rules in place. And people were complaining, well, this is now a hotbed for hate and misogyny and racism, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think it was. I think that was a coordinated media thing to try to make it seem like Elon was a bad guy, and they were doing it as a way to try to coerce him into doing things their way. And what happened was a whole bunch of advertisers, allegedly, reached out to Elon/X, and they threatened that they were going to pull their advertising dollars if Elon did not make the changes to the platform that they were demanding. And Elon's response was, now this I did hear, this is not alleged, I heard him say this. He said, "Go fuck yourself." That was his response. And someone was asking him, he's doing an interview, and the guy said, "What do you say to those advertisers who said they're going to pull their advertising dollars off of X if you don't do this, this, and this?" And Elon's response was, "Go fuck yourself. I don't give a damn. I don't care. Take your money." All right, this guy had just paid $44 billion with a B, $44 billion for this platform. I think he has some change to spare. I don't think he needs anybody's advertising dollars. This is one of the reasons why I've told you all this before, those of you who run ads on the internet. The amount of money that you spend on ads every month is shit compared to the amount of money that big brand advertisers spend on advertising platforms like Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, etc. They don't need your money. This is why you can't base your entire business on just running ads, because at some point the ad costs will be so high that it doesn't make financial sense for you to keep running ads. And it's the same thing. It's a parallel to what I'm saying here with Elon. So there are levels to it. There's the everyday ad spender. That's people like me and you spending anywhere less than $100,000 a month on ads, is the everyday individual person. All right, this is small peanuts to these big brands. Then you have the big brand advertisers. These are the Nikes and Nordstrom and Google and Amazon. The amount of money that they spend on ads every month, they spend in a day what you spend in a month. All right, so the companies who get ad dollars from Nike and Amazon do not need your fucking money. All right, this is what I mean. And then you have the whales, the people like the Elon Musk of the world, who will gladly take your advertising dollars, but they don't need them. That's how Elon can say to the big brands that are 10 times and 100 times bigger than you, he can say to them, "Go fuck yourself. I don't need your fucking money." And they got mad about this. Would you be mad about it? I'd be mad about it. If I worked at Nike and I'm the head ad person, and usually when I make a call, I get answered, and now I got somebody telling me to go fuck myself, I might be a little perturbed about that. What do you think? So Elon's not a guy who follows a lot of rules. All right, that's my point. Entrepreneurs don't follow rules. We make rules. And there's another reason why a lot of people are conditioned to hate entrepreneurs, because when they see other people not following the rules, they get mad that you are a reflection of the fact that they are too afraid to not follow the rules. They don't have the balls to not follow the rules. But everything I've said so far, Elon has received plenty of public backlash for all the things that I'm saying. And his response to all of this, again, is the proverbial 2 middle fingers in the air, or literally, "Go fuck yourself." This only drives the masses of people to dislike him even more, because they have been unable to influence him with the same things that they themselves will be influenced by. You see, most people would be influenced if 30 people said to them, "Hey, you need to change what you're doing from this to this." Most people would be influenced by that and they would do it. Whereas someone like Elon Musk, someone with some balls and some strong convictions, says, "I hear 30 people saying this, but I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. And I believe in my idea better than I believe in these 30 people's ideas. So you 30 people, shut the fuck up. I'm going to do what I want to do." See, those 30 people will be mad at him because he went against the grain, especially if and when he proves himself right. That's the part they don't want. Now, if he proves himself wrong, then they can laugh at him. But if he proves himself right, and this guy has proven himself right to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars, see, people can't say shit to him. See, if you go against the grain and you're wrong, people can laugh at you and say, "See, I told you so." If you go against the grain and you're right, people got to be quiet. That's what happens next. And people get mad about this because they can't influence him the same way that, again, they will be influenced. So this is a big gap in most people's logic, and I'm being generous when I use the word logic. This is not logical for most people. For most people, it's emotional. Moving on to point number 5. Today's topic, once again, is why people hate Elon Musk. Number 5, he is exposing the nonsense of politics, specifically Congress, for now is what he's doing. For now, he's doing this. And I came up with this topic when thinking about this very thing when it came to Elon Musk. This part right here is really what started to get his name circulating a lot more because of what had happened with Congress. The Congress was basically having this argument, let's just call it, about the budget for the 2025 year. And Elon Musk basically stuck his nose into the conversation and started exposing what was actually happening, because most people don't pay that much attention to the details of what's happening in Congress. And I think Congress really got mad about that. And I'm going to explain in a minute. What happens in Congress, and those of you who know how Congress works, Congress's job is, they're also known as the legislature, one of the 3 branches of government, along with the judicial and the executive branch. Their job is to create bills that could become laws if they're signed into law by the president. And this is their full-time job. Now, notice that Congress never rescinds a law. They only create laws, or they create bills that could become laws, but they never take any off the books. So all they're doing is just creating new laws, new regulations, new rules. That's all they do. They just create new rules, laws, and regulations all day, every day. And Elon Musk started exposing what they were doing and exposing the inefficiencies of their process. So what Donald Trump said that he was going to do was create this new committee, I guess we'll call it, a Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, that was going to be headed by both Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy, another financially successful, well-known guy who was also a Republican and a MAGA supporter. And their job is they want to cut a bunch of government jobs, they want to cut government spending, and they want to look at how the government is operating and start making it a lot more efficient. In other words, they want to do what entrepreneurs do to businesses, they want to do it to the government, which I think is a great idea. And at the same time, I understand they're going to face a lot of pushback. Why? Because they're threatening people's jobs when they do this. And what Elon was doing during this whole congressional conversation that was happening in December of 2024 was he was exposing the shenanigans of Congress that usually happen in the shadows all the time. And he was exposing it to the public for everybody to see. Because remember, he owns the public town square, and everything that he posts gets amplified more than everybody else's stuff. So he was basically taking what Congress was doing quietly, he was making it public and making sure everybody knew about it. And a lot of people were really mad about that. Not only people in Congress, not only the supporters of those people in Congress, but also the people who already hate him, Elon, because he's standing next to Donald Trump. So anything he does, they get mad at, even if they don't know why they're mad. See, now we know about this stuff. The biggest backlash against Elon, again, was when he aligned himself with Donald Trump. It grew stronger after he started to voice his opinion on politics, because people were saying things like, hey, nobody elected Elon Musk, so what is he doing making comments on politics? Well, nobody elected me or you, but we make comments on politics. What's the difference? So what Elon did was he started to voice his opinion on political issues during this period between Trump winning the election and Trump's inauguration, when Trump was not actually the president yet, and Elon didn't have a position yet, but he was talking as if he had some influence, which he does. He does have influence, not if, he does have influence. And people were getting mad about that. And specifically, again, calling out the actions of Congress. We all know Congress exists, but very few of us could explain what they do all day, every day. I already told you what they do. Their job is to create bills that become laws, but they do it quietly. All right. And they make all their money while experiencing a ton of influence over the economy and the industry and not being called out for any of it. And they get mad at Elon because, again, he is exposing the stuff that they're doing quietly. And now he's making sure everybody knows about it. And now they can't hide anymore. I would be mad about that too. And see, this is the accountability that he and Vivek, with this Doge that they're claiming that they're going to have. See, this could cost some people in Congress their jobs, because if he keeps exposing them, then when it comes time for these people to run for re-election, they're going to lose. All right, that's part of the game. That's why the people in Congress are really mad. It's not the social media posting. It's, oh, this guy's trying to come after my seat in Congress. He's coming after my congressional seat or my Senate seat, because my opponent is going to use whatever Elon exposes against me in the next campaign that I got to run. And I might lose that campaign because of this guy. So you think people are going to hate Elon? Yes. And he's giving more and more people more reasons to hate him. Because the people they're supposed to be working for, these Congress people, congressmen, congresswomen, now they know exactly what the congressman and congresswoman are doing or not doing. And again, you can't hide when you're in Congress now with him exposing your work. If you're used to doing what you do in the shadows and now somebody comes and sheds a big strobe light on it, I would get upset too. Would you? I would. Moving on to point number 6. Today's topic, once again, is why people hate Elon Musk. Number 6. The key to all of this is that Elon has the ability to explain in plain language what many of these people who he is exposing, what many of them hide behind complicated language. I told you all this many times. The key to sales, the key to any form of communication is simplicity and clarity, and making things easy to be understood, compendiousness, making things easy to be understood, being simple and being clear. Elon Musk speaks in very plain and simple language. This is one of the reasons why he is so successful as an entrepreneur, is because he can get his points across. He apparently is a pretty smart guy. He can get his really smart points across to people who are not nearly as smart as he is, to the point that they understand him, and he can get them to support him. You see, if you had to get everybody to be as smart as you, then you're facing an uphill climb, because most people ain't that smart. See, the genius of genius is being able to simplify your genius such that a person who's not a genius can understand you. Elon Musk has that ability. Donald Trump has that ability. Barack Obama had that ability as president. Steve Jobs had that ability. Jeff Bezos has that ability. Sam Walton, he's the guy who started Walmart. He had that ability. People who are really good at getting the masses of people to understand them, they don't have to have a super smart audience to get you to understand them. They just need to be able to speak on the level of the people who they're trying to influence and persuade. Elon Musk has this ability. And this is what people don't like, because there are a lot of Congress people who are pretty smart too, and they look like they push back against Elon, but they don't have the communication skills to get their point across the way that Elon does. And nor do they have the microphone. They don't have the megaphone that he has. They don't have the platform. One reason Elon is a successful entrepreneur is because he can take his genius and simplify it down to be understandable for someone who does not possess his level of understanding, which is what all of you should be aiming to do if you plan on being a good salesperson. If you want to be a good salesperson, you must be able to get a complex point across to a person who is not a complex thinker and get them to understand it. If you can't do that, you're going to struggle in sales. A person who can make clear, simple explanations of things has a huge platform. At the same time, they're going to have their name and material blow up relatively quickly. Why? Because everybody can get it. Everybody can absorb it. If you're too smart, then you're only talking to a small percentage of people. You're only talking to smart people. Everybody ain't smart. So it should come as no surprise that Elon's message is reaching as many people as it has begun to reach, because of his ability to simplify his points and simplify what he's trying to get across. And again, you want to pick up on that and use it. Recapping, we're on part 2 here. This is part 2 of our Why People Hate Elon Musk series. Point number 4, Elon's an entrepreneur not only in fact, but in heart. In other words, he does not follow rules. And he does not conform to what everybody else is doing. And people who conform hate when they see somebody not conforming and winning at not conforming, because then it basically puts your conformity right there in your face and embarrasses you. Number 5, he is exposing the nonsense of politics, specifically Congress, and they can no longer execute their shenanigans in the shadows. He's exposing it, and he has a very big platform to do so, and no one has a platform big enough to counter what he's doing. That's the part they're really mad about. And number 6, the key to all of this is that Elon's good at explaining himself. He's good at explaining his thoughts and his ideas in such a way that everybody can understand them. Even if you're not smart enough to have deciphered what he deciphers it for you. It makes it easy for you to absorb it. And this way he can reach masses of people, and people who don't have the ability to counter his message, they don't have a platform either, are they going to be really mad about that? Again, would you be mad? If I was one of them, I'd be mad too. Tomorrow, we're going to go into part 3 of why they hate Elon Musk. Between now and then, make sure you go to workonyourgameuniversity.com so you can stop climbing ladders. You can stop looking for certifications and validation from people who have shit to do with you building your business and you reaching your ideal clients and prospects. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Have me as your direct coach, and let's get to work on what we need to work on. Work on your game. Dre, all